Hello everyone and welcome to today's tutorial with Joanne Mulligan. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Stamp-a-ma-jig. We're going to create this little card using some purples. I'm also going to show you a technique so you get a double stamped image using embossing, and then we're going to stamp behind it. And I'm going to show you a cute little trick to save on your glimmer paper as well. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our card base is Elegant Eggplant, and we're going to fold that in half. I can pick it up here and use our bone folder. And then we're going to take the Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. Now, when I cut it out, I'm only going to use the outer portion. So what I did was, using my Stampin' Trimmer, I go along and I cut out the inner portion. So I can use this on another card and it's not going to be wasted, because the middle part of the card is not going to show because I'm going to put the panel on top of that. So this is a great way to save on some cardstock. So this is a little bit expensive paper and you only need, like I said, the outer edges. So that's a great way to save. I'm going to use, some fast fuse on this. We're going to mount that right on the top. And I'm getting sticky already. Whoa. Okay. Whoop. I've been having a problem with adhesive this past week. Okay, we're going to mount this right on the top. And that whole thing I'm just going to set aside for right now while we do our main panel of the card. So I'm going to take some Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and I'm going to go over the whole front of my card just to remove all that static and any fingerprints. We're going to take our snowflake from the Holly Jolly Greetings set. Use some Versamark. I'm going to ink it up. Make sure we get good ink coverage. And that's going to get stamped up towards the top of the card. Okay, set this aside. We're done with that right now. I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper and our clear embossing powder. I'm going to go right over the top of that with the clear embossing powder. Tap it off. Double check, make sure we don't have any strays. Pour it back in the jar. Whoops. Move that aside. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to hit this with the heat gun. And you'll see it start to turn glossy. I don't know if you can see at the angle. I'm hoping I'm getting under here where you can see that it's going to turn clear and glossy. There it goes. You just run it right over the top of it. If you need embossing tips, I do have a video on embossing. And there we go. Just going to let that cool for a second. I'm going to clean off my stamp. And I'm going to take my Elegant Eggplant and I'm going to ink up my stamp. Remember, foam pad, so tap, tap, tap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it over my snowflake, but a little bit to the left. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub this on my grid sheet to remove a little bit of the excess that is on my embossed image. So now I'm going to take a sponge and I'm going to go right over the whole top of this. And it's going to bring out, the resist is going to bring out the snowflake, but it's also going to create a little bit of a background around, a little halo effect is what I'm trying to get at. So we're going to go right around there and see how that snowflake is starting to come out. And we have this little halo going right around the whole top of the card. And there we go. I'm going to put some little splotches around here using Gorgeous Grunge. And I don't want them too dark, so I'm going to stamp off. And I'm just going to stamp a few here and there around the outer edge. couple over here. Oops. There we go. All right. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of scrap elegant eggplant. We're going to use the, where'd it go? There it is. Here I am stamping and everything gets pushed aside. We're going to use the Jolly, the words Jolly, and this is from the Christmas Greetings Thinlits. I'm going to run that through the Big Shot, and it's going to come out looking just like that. Put that aside for just a minute. Now here's where we're going to get into the Stamp-a-ma-jig. I want to do the Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. But sometimes when you stamp, I'm going to show you, the words, even though it looks like I've got it going straight here, it's off a little bit. So I want to make sure my words are completely straight. So I'm going to use my Stamp-a-ma-jig. And how you use that is you take the handle and you put it on your paper, and you take the imaging sheet, and this gets slid right into the corner here, nice and tight up against there. You're going to ink up your stamp, and you're going to come right in and stamp. Now what you do to get it on the card straight is, I know where I want to have it. So I put it on my card, and I make sure that it's nice and straight, exactly where I want to have this, the words. And then I slide my Stamp-a-ma-jig back into the corner, remove the imaging sheet, take my words, and stamp. And there they are. Now I want to do the holly underneath that, so I'm just going to take a little wipe and clean off my sheet. And I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to remove that, take the words holly, put it back on my block. It's not sticking, so here's another little trick for you, everybody. A little bit of lip balm on the back makes it stick like a charm on the back of your acrylic block. Same thing. I'm going to put it right into the corner, stamp the words holly. So now I know exactly where I'm going to have the words holly, and I want those to be just a little bit below it, but still straight. So I'm going to put it right in there, right up against that imaging sheet, pull that out of the way, ink up my stamp again, come right down into that crevice, and there we go, have a holly. Now we're going to take our words jolly. I'm going to use my silicone sheet that I now have. If you watched my video from the other day, you saw that I glued my card right to my my mat. So let me get some multi-purpose glue, and we're just gonna glue that real quick. Very little bit, but if I use this sheet, it's not going to stick to my paper, so my card will be saved. It will not be glued like the other day. And if you want to get a chuckle, you can watch that one. That was my one from the other day, and I forget what card that was. It was red. Let me think about it for a minute, and I'll get back to you on that. So we're going to put the jolly right underneath here and glue that down. Now this went off a little bit, so I'm just going to cut the Y flush with my card. And since I cut that part off, I'm going to cut some of the J off as well. Now we want to do the words Christmas, so we're going to do the whole process all over again. I'm going to take our Christmas, a little lip balm, just to make sure it sticks good, because I don't want it to shift at all when I'm doing the process with the Stamp-a-ma-jig. Okay, same thing. Guess the ink pad's not going to work. I need the handle. Let's try this. There we go. Put it right in the corner, ink up our stamp, put it down. Now we have the words Christmas, and I want it to be right in the center of jolly, so I'm going to line that right up in here. Make sure I'm underneath my camera so you can see. So I'm lining it right up underneath, getting it nice and straight, sliding this right into here, the corner. There we go. Ink up our stamp and slide it on in. And there's Christmas. Okay? And that's how you use the Stamp-a-ma-jig. It's very easy, and I love that tool for lining, especially when you're doing words and you want to get them nice and even. Just going to go right around the edges a little bit. Sponge those slightly. The sample I always do for you never looks as good as the one I do for myself, I guess because I'm on camera. I get a little nervous. Okay, go right around, and this whole thing, where's my card base? There it is. This is going to get attached right to my card base. Remember when you're using Fast Fuse to do those little quick little check marks. Mount this right onto the front of there, just so you have a little bit a peek of the glimmer paper. And then I'm going to put a little rhinestone right on the J. Let's see if I can get it on there. And there you go. That's how you do the double imaging with a little bit of resist, and how to use the Stamp-a-ma-jig. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like, share, and subscribe. For a list of the products used and card dimensions, please click the link in the video description. Be sure to visit my website, stamptayouDrop.com, for more ideas, inspiration, and videos. I can also be found on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Thank you so much for watching, and happy stamping!